Hi, Darlene here, Darlene's Garden and Home. Today my talk to you is about home. Actually, this morning at my Toastmasters meeting, I gave a speech, and I was thinking I should record it, but I didn't. So in order to have my speech recorded, I am going to give it again, and it will not be exactly the same as it was this morning, because unless you're identical twins, no two of anything are the same, not even snowflakes. So my speech was about managing change in my life, lessons from experience and from Toastmasters. And I'll be talking a lot about Toastmasters in this speech. But don't turn away just because you don't want to hear about Toastmasters. Listen to the end, because I think you'll find it valuable. And so today I sit before you to talk about a topic that is both universal and deeply personal: managing change in our lives. Change is often described as the only constant, yet when it arrives, it leaves us feeling unsteady, uncertain, and sometimes even overwhelmed. I would like to share my journey with change, how I managed it in my personal life, and through experiences with Toastmasters. I would like to share my journey with change, how I have managed it in my personal life, and through my experience with Toastmasters. Let me begin with the truth that many of us recognize. Change rarely asks permission before it enters our life. A few years ago, I found myself at a crossroads. I found myself at a crossroads many times, actually. My career path was shifting, relationships were evolving, and the world around me seemed to move faster than ever. Excuse the lawnmower sound if it shows up in the video. No control over that. I realized that the old methods of resisting or ignoring change only led to more stress. Instead, I had to embrace adaptability, learning to be flexible, and most importantly, become comfortable with being uncomfortable. One of the most significant changes I made was joining Toastmasters. I still remember that first meeting. Gosh, that's been a long time ago. I would say close to 40 years ago. The nerves, the uncertainty, and the hope that this would be a place I could grow. Toastmasters for me was not just about public speaking. It was about stepping into the unknown and taking ownership of my personal development. That single decision set off a series of changes in my life that I continue to benefit from today. Through Toastmasters, I learned to welcome change rather than fear it. Every time I accepted a new role, whether it was serving as an evaluator, a club officer, or participating in helping with a speech contest, I was pushed outside my comfort zone. Each new challenge brought a new lesson: the importance of preparation, the value of feedback, and the realization that every mistake is an opportunity to learn. By saying yes to these opportunities, I found myself growing in confidence and resilience. Managing change is not just about personal growth, though. It is also about connection. In Toastmasters, I found a community of people who were navigating their own changes. Whether it was overcoming that fear of speaking, transitioning to a new career, moving to a different country, or learning how to take leadership roles in the organization or in any organization, we supported each other. We support each other through encouragement and shared experiences. This taught me that I didn't have to face change alone. Reaching out for support and offering it in return makes any transition easier and less daunting. But change is not always easy. There are times, many times, when I doubted myself, times when I stumbled during a speech or felt out of place in a leadership role. Speaking of out of place, little old me found myself as the president of the Oregon Business Education Association. This has been several years ago now, but I was the president of a statewide organization. And I also had an important role in the Regional Business Education Association, Western Business Association. I could never have been successful in these two roles had it not been for the confidence that I learned in Toastmasters. In these moments, what kept me going forward was remembering why I started. My purpose, personal growth, and authentic connection. This became my anchor in uncertain times. When we're clear about our values and motivations, adapting to change becomes less about fear and more about possibility. Along the way, I developed a few strategies for managing change that I'd like to share with you today. Number one, embracing a learning mindset. I guess part of that's how come I became a teacher. I love to learn. I think I almost love learning more than I love teaching learning. But I do love learning. And having that learning mindset, it helps me to view every change as an opportunity to grow, even if it becomes uncomfortable. Number two, break change into manageable steps. Focus on one action at a time rather than an entire mountain ahead. Number three, seek support. Don't hesitate to lean on your community, whether it's Toastmasters, your church, or any other group that you belong to. Support each other for guidance, for mentorship, and sometimes simply a listening ear. Number four, reflect often. Give yourself space to process emotions and celebrate small victories along the way. And in Toastmasters, we emphasize evaluations. Every time we give a speech, it's evaluated. But reflecting helps us to evaluate ourselves, not in a critical way, but in how can I make this better way? Number 5, state, and this is probably the most important, stay true to your values. Let your core beliefs guide your decisions and help you find meaning in the midst of uncertainty. In closing, managing change is not about having all the answers. It's about staying open to new experiences, learning from each obstacle, and supporting one another as we grow. My journey with Toastmasters has shown me that change, though sometimes intimidating, leads to possibility and transformation when we are met with courage and curiosity. So the next time change knocks at your door, I encourage you, welcome it. Step forward boldly and trust that everything you need to thrive, you have. Thank you. And that was my speech from this morning, though I think I gave it better and more eloquently this morning than I did just now. That's okay. I wish I had recorded this morning's speech. Then you would have it basically the right way. And this morning I was only 10 seconds over my time limit, which if I'd been in a contest, I would have gotten eliminated. But since this was no contest, this was just a speech, 10 seconds over is okay. And this morning I didn't interject as many of my own little comments here and there either. But it has been a journey, and recognizing all the learning that has come with change has been important. So until next time, keep the love of God deep in your heart. God bless. I'll see you in my next video.